Okay, so let's have a look at the sixth adjustment for Melba Ltd 2015. So it says a new warehouse was purchased during the year for 100,000 plus VAT at 13%. The amount paid to the vendor was entered in the billings account, but no entry was made in the VAT account. So it's telling us here that the VAT, which is 13%, so we have to find out how much the VAT is. We need to take that VAT out of our purchase account and we need to stick it into our VAT account. Or sorry, out of our billings account and stick it into our VAT account. So the first thing we need to do is find out how much this VAT was. So we're going to take the 100,000. So we're going to have two accounts, VAT and buildings. So we're going to have to adjust our VAT. So it's 100,000 and it was 13%. So the VAT that we paid there was 100,000 multiplied by 13%. So we paid 13,000 on VAT. So that's how much we need to put into our VAT account and take out of our buildings account. So we're going to find out how much is the amount for VAT. And I'll show you two ways how to record a transaction. So the VAT, we're going to see. So the VAT is on the credit side, so that's a liability. So that means that we have to pay the VAT. If the VAT was on the debit side, it would be an asset, so we'd be getting a VAT rebate. So it's going to be 5,000. So this VAT then is going to go from our buildings, which is 13,000. So that means we've overpaid our VAT by 8,000. So 13,000 minus 5,000. We've overpaid by 8,000. So we're going to get VAT back. So that's going to go into our balance sheet as a current asset because it's a VAT rebate. I'll show you the double entry for the two of them now in a second. So the first thing, we calculate how much VAT we paid in it. We need to record the VAT into our billings account, into our VAT account. So our VAT at the moment is 5,000. That's on the credit side. With our purchases, you can reclaim VAT back on your purchases. So that's why it goes in on the debit side to reduce our VAT. So our VAT now, we're owed 8,000 in VAT. So that's money that's owed to us. It goes into our current assets. In our buildings, then we need to take the 13,000 that we paid, which is recorded, out of our buildings. So the same again, we're going to go and find our buildings account because this is just how much our buildings are worth. VAT doesn't go in there. So VAT at cost was 713,000. And the VAT then that shouldn't have been there, we need to take it out. So it's going to be 13,000. So we need to reduce our buildings by 13,000. So our new buildings then is 700,000, and that's our balance sheet tangible asset. So if you want to do the double entry side, so our buildings is an asset, so you've got opening balance on buildings, it's going to be 700,000, that's taken from the trial balance. Our VAT liability in the question itself is 5,000, that's on the credit side. So the double entry, to reduce an asset, you put it on the debit side, so it's going to be your VAT, which is, sorry, our buildings with 113,000. So we're going to credit our buildings by 13,000 and then we're going to debit our VAT by 13,000. So when we come to balance it then, 700,000 be on the credit side in our buildings. So that means your closing balance then will be 700,000. So that goes into your balance sheet as a tangible asset. And then when we balance off the VAT account, we're going to have buildings. Sorry, buildings done already, sorry. So I will be crediting our buildings account, debiting our VAT account. So the balance then for the end of the year then will be your 8,000. And when we bring the 8,000 down to the debit side for the next period, it's going to be our opening balance, which is going to be 8,000. And that's going to go into your VAT account as a balance sheet as a current asset. So just be careful with the VAT account. You really need to know what side is the VAT on. So the VAT's on the credit side for 5,000. You need to know this VAT because it's purchases. That means then that we can claim that VAT back. So we're going to take it out of our billings account, put it into our VAT account. So to take it over billing account, it goes on the credit side. So you're going to credit your billings, debit your VAT account with the VAT amount. That means then instead of the VAT being a liability, it's now an asset and it goes into your balance sheet as a current asset. So that's how to answer the treatment of the VAT payment on the new buildings that we bought.